YouTubers of the world. I am Arcanum Fantasy, and today we are going to be discussing one of the best fanfics I've read in a long time. And I know I say that a lot about some other fanfics I've read, but this honestly is a pretty good one, and it didn't even require a lot of flashing lights and explosive magic attacks or anything like that, really. Just the simple concept of family love. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you my review of No Longer Lost. Now, just to put this out of the way, this is a fanfic that's kind of a mix between a Scoot adoption stories and Vinyl Scratch Octavia shipping. See, in this one, Vinyl Scratch and Octavia are a couple. Not a married couple, mind you, but still a couple. And Vinyl manages to spot something a little unusual to her when she's coming out of one of her gigs. What is this, you might ask? Why, none other than a certain well-known orange Pegasus filly that everyone in the fandom can't seem to make up their mind whether they want her to be able to fly or not. Good old Scootaloo. Well, Vinyl certainly had no idea what the heck she was going to do in this situation. I mean, what do you do when you find a kid eating out of a trash can in the back alley of probably one of the more seedy areas of your neighborhood? So, Vinyl gets Scootaloo's attention, and of course, at first she's ready to book it. After all, she doesn't want to exactly have to explain to someone why she's homeless. After a brief moment in which Vinyl gives Scootaloo some space and they form a kind of understanding, Vinyl brings Scootaloo home. Unfortunately, this is also a sort of, anniversary night for the two of them. And Octavia pulled out all the cards in order to make this one hell of a night. Which ends up leading to a very awkward situation where we got Vinyl Scratch and Octavia Philharmonica, or Melody, I forget what the second part of her name is. Octavia. About to go into a makeout session with Scootaloo walking right by the open door. What ensues is essentially an interesting impromptu dinner for three, prequelled by a confusing argument in which Octavia wants to punch Vinyl through the head and at the same time, finish what they were doing earlier. Afterwards, the story progresses to the point where Vinyl wants to adopt Scootaloo, and kind of just goes from there. Of course, there's a somewhat scary part when a cult services pony shows up after Vinyl threatens to do some very unpleasant things to Mr. Cake after he basically tried to hit Scootaloo with a broom. Yeah, mama instincts are extremely terrifying. Especially if your mama's Vinyl Scratch and she can use some scary magic. Oh boy. Anyone who can turn a broom into a pile of ashes in a matter of minutes. You don't gotta be Twilight Sparkle to scare everybody. You just gotta be a pony that doesn't give two shits about anything. Oh boy. But anyway, long story short, they do end up being able to adopt Scootaloo formally. And then afterwards, we get one hell of an amazing final scene, which, dear listener, I have no intention of ruining. If you want to know what this ending is, read the fic, and I highly recommend that. This story is extremely well written and incredibly well detailed. It catches the elements of all kinds of troubles and trials a homosexual relationship has to go through. It also manages to showcase all kinds of elements in which opposing attributes can be mixed together within character personalities. As for issues, you're going to be pretty surprised about this one, folks. In regards to spelling, I'd give it a 8. There are a few spelling errors, but not enough to really make it distracting. Grammar errors? Few and far between. Again, an 8. Pacing. It is really well paced. It's not as if Scootaloo just suddenly, oh, I like these two mares, I'm gonna have them be my mommies. No. She really puts them through their paces, and even agrees to leave them if after the two of them are having more fights than usual. With the two of them are explaining to Scootaloo this is generally how they communicated. And it's usually arguments over something as stupid as which is more impressive, Mozart or Eminem, or whatever their pony versions are of those two characters. So, I give this one a solid 10 in that regard. All in all, there wasn't any name overload or even tensing errors. So, all in all, this fic gets a full out 10 out of 10. And is probably one of the best fanfics I've read, as I've said before. And to make it even more interesting, this fic has a sequel. And I am going nuts waiting for this thing to get completed, because I want to do a review on this one too. Because this one's a little more centered on the CMC as opposed to Vinyl and Octavia. Well, with all that said, you all know what you gotta do next. Like, comment, subscribe, and if you're feeling particularly generous, stop by my Patreon account and leave a small donation. After all, every little bit helps. Plus, if you put in your donation, you have a chance to be put into a monthly raffle for my next review. And that one, I have no rules on. You could make me review a Clop fic, or anything really. And I will put it on the channel. And if you're feeling like it, check out my own work on film fiction. It's probably not anything too impressive, but hey, as a fellow writer, I would love to improve my own style, as well as help all others out there listening to improve their own. So, see y'all later, everybody. Bye.